Welcome back in. Our next guest, who makes a return visit to the Good Day studio, played drums for some of the biggest acts in the music business. Lenny Kravitz, Bobby Brown, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, just to name a few. Well, now he's got a new book out called Maria's Scarf. Danny Donnelly, better known in the business as Zorro, joins us now to talk about it. Welcome back to Good Day, my friend.
Hey, good to be back. It's been 7 years.
Yeah, and I know you just spoke to a group of teachers down there and educators in Pike County, in the state there, and really sharing some things about this book. But before we talk about this, for people who don't know your life story, talk about your humble beginnings. You really went from rags to riches to tough times to back to where you are now.
Yes, well, I was raised by a single immigrant mother. My mother was named Maria. She raised 7 children alone. There were no fathers in the scene, so you can imagine how difficult that was. We grew up in South Central LA, known as Compton. So I had this very difficult childhood where by the time I was in 4th grade, we moved like 40 times.
Wow.
And sometimes we moved our entire family with my red radio flyer wagon. So I have the most humble beginnings. So my story is really of one of going from the slums to the spotlight as a world-renowned drummer, with the incomparable love of my single immigrant mother, who filled my heart with dreams and told me that I could do it. And I had 6 siblings that loved on me. So we were a very tight family, and that's what allowed me to live out my dreams. So I wanted to write the book to honor her memory and to inspire people.
You know, they were looking at video here. This is, well, that's got to be emotional for you just seeing this. But you guys lived out of your car once before. How did she get you, though, you know, in tune to want to be a musician?
Well, she loved music, and she was from Mexico City, so she had this passion for music and arts, and she also sang a little bit herself, but she wanted to be an actress. So she sort of indoctrinated me in her passions. You know how parents are. Whatever your parents love, you end up loving. So she would play Frank Sinatra and all this great music, and she just was so exuberant and joyful.
And actually took you to a Sinatra concert.
She did.
That was life-changing for you, was it not?
12 years old, she took me to see Frank Sinatra, and that totally changed my life. And I fell in love. I wanted to be on that stage. I didn't know how. Eventually, the way I got discovered was I was a janitor at my own high school. I was in 10th grade, and my after-school job was to clean the toilets, and the last part of the job was to clean the band room, and I would sneak on the drums and just secretly play. I never took a lesson, and that's when the band director discovered me, and that's how my whole career started, was from being the janitor.
I love the way each chapter it's got a name, a title of a song.
Yeah.
Because music is obviously a big part of your life.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I thought when we lived in the car, we lived in a 1962 Chevy Nova that I dubbed the White House because it was white. Right. And then when I was 50, they honored me at the White House for being a guy who mentored young boys.
But anyway, full circle for you.
It came full circle. Yeah. And then Tina Sinatra now has the book and loved the chapter about Frank Sinatra. But yeah, the whole thing is, there's been many, many full circle moments. In fact, there was a pastor from a Baptist church that my mother used to take us to who gave me shoes when I didn't have shoes, and let us shower in his house when we were living in the car. And just recently, I was in Grants Pass, Oregon, where all this took place. He's 89 now. I had not seen the man in 50 years, and he came to my book signing, and I read him the passage in the book where I talked about him.
What about your faith, though? How much has that shaped you getting to where you are today?
Everything. My mother had this incredible faith in God and taught that faith to all of her children, and that is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today. I speak at churches. I've spoken everywhere from San Quentin Prison to high schools. I've been with celebrity parties. I really have my own ministry as well, besides being a drummer. So I'm a drummer, a speaker, a teacher, and a minister, but the faith has shaped my life. It's what's made it possible.
Tell people what you want them to take away from this book.
Well, the book will, 4 things you will get from the book. It is heartwarming, heartbreaking, hilarious, but it'll leave you hopeful. It'll fill you with inspiration. I had one lady read it in her late 60s. She said, "Your book makes me want to dream again. Makes me want to go after the unimaginable, the unattainable." So the book will inspire you, and it will touch your heart in a deep, evocative, emotional way.
Well, I'm sure if your mom was still with us, I know she was proud of you, but she would probably get a lot, knowing that people are getting something out of this book.
I think she would be thrilled that I have a book called Maria's Scarf. There's a story about the scarf. People will have to read the book. I still wear the scarf in honor of her, but you'll have to read the book to find out what the story behind the scarf is. I think she would be thrilled. I had a dream the other night that she did see it and that she did love it. It was just one of those things you dream about, and it was maybe a God smile going, she knows.
I like it. It's called Maria's Scarf. Zorro, an honor once again.
Hey, thank you, Mike.
Thank you
Great
so
to be
much.
back in Birmingham.
All right.
Thanks. Take care.
Quite a story.